Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We are progressing well in our day two of Pack Impressions. And now we are getting into a very interesting keynote session from a good friend, a college mate, batchmate, and now a specialist in the procurement industry. So without much of delay, let me give you a quick background of our next speaker. His name is Mr. Radha Mohan Gupta, who is a veteran in the consumer packaged goods, having had almost like 30 years of work experience in supply chain management, procurement, operations. He has had a distinguished career in leading, global consumer packaged brands across different categories. He worked as a manager planning and logistics for about 6 years with Castrol. Then he was a supply chain manager with PepsiCo. And for the last, over 12 or maybe now 15 years, he has been with Reckitt and Benckiser, where he is currently the regional procurement director of South Asia. Radha, he's a batchmate from National Institute of Technology. Those days it was REC Calicut, and he has done his post-graduation in management from SP Jain in 1993. And without much of delay, I'm pleased and honored to have Radha joining us here at Pack Impression. Radha, great to see you, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Pankaj. And thank you for the nice introduction, Pankaj. Hope I'm audible and visible properly to audience.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me start with thanking, of course, my friend Pankaj and Pack Impression for inviting me on this forum. I would like to also thank the audience, which is online and ready to listen. Let me directly start over here with my presentation. Is it my slides are visible?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So, friends, today's the topic is importance of sustainable packaging in times of COVID-19. Before we actually go into the topic, the sustainability, I think this is the buzzword. Now, you can call it buzzword, or even you can look at it that in today's world, the sustainability is the purpose of the business. Sustainability is the part of the business strategy, and sustainability is the future of the business. With this background, let me come to the agenda which I'm going to cover today in this topic is certainly quickly understanding what is sustainability, what is the sustainable packaging, and the impact of COVID-19 on this packaging, sustainable packaging, and way forward. I'll be taking somewhere around 20 to 22 minutes into this presentation. Let's look at understanding sustainability. Now, there are many definitions, and it is the theoretical one of them, and it talks about sustainability is the process of living within the limits of available physical, natural, and social resources in ways that allow the living systems in which humans are embedded to thrive in perpetuity. It's a very simple definition, and to understand it a bit more, let's see what all it includes. It includes economic growth, which is sustained growth. It's not only the growth, but it's the sustained growth and the social and ecological consequences. Number two, it also includes environmental protection, and what is mean is unpolluted air, clean water, fresh food, and of course, conservation of energy and raw materials. The third pillar of sustainability is social development, which means the equal rights, no child labor, all share equitably in societal benefits. It's very clear, friends, sustainability has a large area to cover, and it has these pillars which are taken care of while we talk about sustainability. And which means adopting sustainable practices, whether large or small, can have significant impact in the long run. And that's simply about the sustainability. It covers various aspects, including economy, the environment, and the society as a whole. It's a big area. Now, within this one, the general thing was the earlier how people used to deal with was the linear economy, which was make, use, and throw. With the sustainability concept coming in, there is something which we are talking about is circular economy. What is the circular economy? In this one, we purchase and produce. We consume and use, and then collect and process it for further recycling. It is as simple as that. It starts right from sourcing the green material, design better products, reduce process waste, promote reuse, reduce the use, recycle, and again use it. So in other words, a vision of circular economy will be elimination through redesign, through innovations, reuse models apply, how much we can reuse the material, reduce single-use packaging, and all plastic packaging need to be 100% recyclable. And finally, it need to be free of hazardous chemicals. Now, having said that, what is industry has been doing about it? Industry has been focusing on developing new packaging, which is launching almost 100% recyclable materials, or at least aiming to launch 100% recyclable material, transition to other raw materials, which are green. Second is shaping a waste-free future by recycling. Organizations are partnering with NGO, other organizations, so that the waste can be collected. They can be segregated, reused, recycled. And in some of the cases, the energy generated from waste for their manufacturing plants are also being considered. And the last point is driving new behavior of consumer. It is very important to involve everyone into the cycle. And what does that mean is educating the consumer about the health and hygiene programs, introducing behavior change right in the curriculum of the kids in the schools, and introducing digital platforms where the recollection could be done, the consumers could be rewarded for recycling or reusing the material. And that's what has been happening in general in the industry. However, we had a pause. And before going to that, let's have a look at sustainable packaging also. When we are talking about sustainability, the sustainable packaging is nothing but it is sourced responsibly, designed to be effective and safe throughout its life cycle. And I would like to underline that it meets market criteria for performance and cost. These two things are not lost still. It is in spite of that material need to be sourced responsibly, green, effective, safe, it need to perform. It need to be cost effective and is made entirely using renewable energy. Industry has been trying to achieve this, friends, through reducing the use of packaging, reusing it, which we are talking about, and replacing with some other material, which is green, maybe, or which is better material, and then recycling. And that's what is sustainable packaging. It's a small part of entire world of sustainability. The sustainable packaging is playing a major role in FMCG organizations. As I said, this all has been being what is pre-COVID-19. We had COVID-19 sweeping away the globe with its impacts. And with this with COVID-19, just let's have a look at it before we come to its impact on packaging. What are its impacts? Quickly, I think it has taken the toll to human life. We all know about it. GDP growth, of course, India minus 23.9, and everybody is struggling into the economy. We all know about it, the adverse impact. And consumer spendings, not to talk about it. Everywhere, if you talk about transportation, has gone down, it has stopped almost. Personal services, food, grocery, everything, the consumer spending has come down. What else? The survival became main concern. we all know about, everything took the back seat. The planet, the environmental protection, everything took the back seat, and personal survival, society survival became main concern. Hyper awareness of safety and hygiene, which means the people were excessively informed about the hygiene, so much and so that I will say that it was excess dose of information, not only awareness, but scared about the hygiene and the safety in this time. And we all have witnessed restricted operation, the transportation, state to state, a movement was not allowed. Manufacturing got impacted because labor was not available. We all know about the migrant labor issue. Major changes in consumer behavior was another thing which we all saw, which was everything virtual experience, be it education, entertainment, or be shopping. And in this scenario, we found that e-commerce grew drastically. And if you read about it into the media, the growth into e-commerce was whatever they grew in last 2-3 years happened in 2-3 months' time. That was the condition of e-commerce because movement was restricted, online shoppings were being prioritized. In this all scenario, the challenges for packaging, if we see, the virus could last for 24 hours on cardboards and 3 days on plastic surfaces. There was a fear to reuse the packaging. Sustainability took the back seat. Low oil prices, which is that the oil price, crude oil prices went so down that the virgin plastic costs went down accordingly and drastically down. You and me know about the crude oil prices. And people, the manufacturers thought about not only the cost, but also the convenience, which is there directly they can use the virgin plastics. The sustainability took the back seat. Supply continuity was priority over sustainability, which is again the thing. This is the first time when two shocks, which was supply shock and demand shock, were witnessed together simultaneously. And supply, ensuring that the supply becomes continuous in the system, was the main priority. Having said that, the question is, are packaging sustainability goals are going to accelerate or take backseat? When we have seen COVID has impacted all across all the verticals, then how it is going to impact the packaging sustainability? Before we answer this question, again, let's look at some of the facts. We all witnessed, friends, that the rare socio-economic status, you and me will agree that there was no section of the society which was spared. There was fully, completely, society as a whole got impacted. Whatever section, economy strata it could be. The economy activities are essential for survival. Everybody witnessed it because many business got closed and many business are there still, which might not reopen. The situation is so bad. Now, if we see these 3 points, the first point talks about environment, the planet. The second thing talks about society. And the third talks about economy. And we have just now seen that these are the 3 pillars of the sustainability, and everything got impacted during this time. Now, as a brand owner, if you ask that how, as a brand owner, we looked at this, from the point of view of health and safety of people and planet, it was top of the mind. We learned it hard way that people safety, planet safety is the top priority. And this is from the lens of a brand owner. Second thing, rapidly changing consumer behavior. We have talked about it, that there is a from green packaging. In spite of COVID-19 adverse impact on the sustainability, consumer still prefers the green packaging. The awareness became even more. The target still remains for us. packaging sustainability re-emphasized. In spite of the things which we saw, packaging sustain long term, because we know sustainability is not only talking about planet, it is talking about entire companies are committed to achieve the set goals. Cost pressure will continue to push to innovate. I think we are not getting continue, and the consumer will need the value for money, and that's how the light weighting of the material, alternate material, redesigning is still remains the top priority for the FMCG companies.
Rather, we are really experiencing severe distortion.
If you look at sustainable business models enjoy more bottom line, driving disruptive innovations. Sorry, Pankaj, now it started only now, or I need to change the, it's better now?
It's okay. For a little bit, it was really bad. Now it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about it. Technology challenge. Okay. Sustainable business models enjoy more bottom line benefits, such as driving disruptive innovations, exploring new opportunities, reducing risk and uncertainties, and ingraining a sense of purpose throughout the organization. The point I'm driving over here, friends, is that COVID-19 had the impact all throughout, on all aspects of the life. However, the focus remains from the brand owners and also from consumer side. Having said that, just quickly a recap that what have been the positive impact. Pankaj, is it okay now? Hello? Can I be heard now, Pankaj? All right. Positive impacts have been the air is cleaner, as we saw. Consumer is becoming more environmentally conscious. We talked about it. They are also technology friendly now because they were pushed to use the technology, and a green boost to economy. If we go through the negative impacts, certainly the severe impact on several sustainable development goals, they could be temporary, but yes, there was impact, reduction in recycling and reuse, because the focus was mainly on the continuity of the supply, higher usage of single-use plastics. We have witnessed the PPEs, the mask, the gloves, and the risk of reusing. So there has been higher usage of single-use plastics and decline in sustainability expenditures, especially by the SMEs, because business have been into the problem, focus has shifted, and there has been the decline in sustainability expenditure. So we see there is a positive side and there is a negative impact of this COVID-19. Now, within this scenario, I come back to the question which we raised. Our sustainability goals are going to accelerate or take the back seat. And after going through the few last slides, my answer remains that even higher priority, because we know that this is impacting all three pillars of sustainability. And for future, and to see that the business is sustained, we will be even focusing even more. And what does that mean? The way forward is, number one, set ambitious target for circular economy, which means additional resources, and we need to have a long-term perspective for the business, because the impact which we are seeing because of COVID are temporary. Ensure that all kind of packaging are reusable and recyclable, and which necessarily means that alternate materials which produce less waste, use less resources, and cost less or equal are the priority. and the equal or improved quality. So material which is green, which is reusable, which can be recycled, and organization-wide cultural changes. As I talked about, this is not responsibility of single function in an organization or in a business. This is a task which in which one everyone is involved. Everyone need to contribute, and this need to be seen as a culture to recycle, to reuse, to reduce the usage of the plastic material which we are using, or any packaging material which we are using. And finally, the inside economy. The entire packaging has to be inside economy, but outside environment. And when I say that, it means we need to continuously put in efforts to ensure that we use the green material, we use the material which is cyclable, and we put a lot of focus to collect, segregate, and recycle this one. And what does that ideally mean? What we need to do together in future to ensure that the businesses are sustained and they are in long-term successful is simple, is that we need to investigate further. We need to involve people, we need to involve our partners, and we need to innovate. Getting into bit details into this is from consumer side, what need to be done is the material suppliers need to come together, converters of the plastic need to come together, and finally the machine manufacturers, which are the filling machines or could be with the manufacturers, different kind of machines. Consumer, material suppliers, converters, and machine manufacturers, all of them need to come together and then decide that entire sustainability is worked upon together, because everybody is dependent on each other. And how? Like consumer, they have to be aware. I think this part is already done. They are fully aware on the green packaging. However, they need to give the preference for green packaging. And I'm saying this with a specific purpose, because in some of the cases, costs are going up. And you are seeing a trend in the change in trend where consumers are, even in spite of marginal cost being higher, they are giving preference to green packaging. This need to be focused, this need to be encouraged, and this need to be a long-term strategy while we are designing any packaging. From the material supplier point of view, it has to be that they need to come out with a material or the substitute which are right combination of sustainable, affordable, and protective material, which can withstand the shelf life, which can withstand in the marketplace, which can travel the distance which is there in India from long distances which they need to travel. And finally, packaging. I think I'm not covering the importance of packaging into this webinar. However, one of the purposes is aesthetics, and that also need to be taken care of. And that's where the role of the material suppliers come into here. Going to converters, the lightweighting, the material, less and less of plastic you use or any of the other material you use, you are contributing to the sustainability objective of the entire organization, entire nation, and entire world. And that's where the acumen of converters come into picture, that the lightweighting need to be done, how much bottle weight we could reduce, how much paper, maybe from 5-ply to 3-ply kind of thing in card boxes could go in, and the innovative solutions, and also contributing in optimized cost of conversions. And that's where the converters could come together and could contribute. And finally, the machine manufacturers. I know my audience today is having material suppliers, even converters. Some of them might be even consumer, and there are machine manufacturers. And that's how the machine manufacturers, they need to build a machine which are more flexible. You can do one material to another material, from one pack to another pack kind of thing. And more automation need to come in, which gives the flexibility to the FMCG companies. And they also shall be able to handle recycle materials. I think on the same machine, perhaps you require different kind of settings before the material is changed. And that's where you need to have the larger tolerance, or I don't know, kind of automation and the machines which can work with different materials over there. Here you will find that there is a responsibility for every one of us to ensure that sustainability objectives are continuing for packaging. We all can contribute into this objective very productively, very innovatively, and finally, I would like to end my presentation by saying that the most sustainable organizations are the ones that make the sustainable way the normal course of the business. Thank you very much, audience, for listening very patiently. And I'm sorry, in between, I think there was some internet strength issue, but still, I think I could communicate whatever I wanted. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Radha. That was really enlightening to get your views on sustainability and your. Radha, you need to switch off your. Yeah. So thank you very much. It was enlightening to hear your viewpoints on sustainability. We've got a couple of questions from the audience, but before that, let me give my 2 cents into your whole thing. Sustainability, I mean, there were a couple of today points which are coming about, and I'm not talking specific of Reckitt Benckiser nor for any kind of a brand. But in one of the earlier sessions today, there was a point which was coming up from in a panel where there were brand managers and design houses and production houses. They were saying that majority of the brands were not practicing what they are talking, right? And I'm not trying to, and you ended saying, sustainable companies are the ones which are going to sustain. I think it's a question which is not debatable. But what we have seen, that when you start looking at an ecosystem which is evolving from a traditional process, which was not that conscious about sustainability, to the new process, there is an evolution, and that it takes some time. And that transition is usually not self-driven. It is sometimes driven by the brand to go and make some changes, or it gets impacted because of maybe government regulations. Various factors goes into making that transition. My question is that why today brands are demanding certain things, and I'm talking from the horse's mouth, because we are providing a lot of services to the brand, and they want green prints, they want this, but when it comes to taking the purchase decision, it's the cost factor which comes into it. And then even today, some of the greener solutions, they are not really so-called affordable in the budgetary perspective. Now, where is that balancing act will take place? At what stage? And I'm asking you straight because this is a procurement decision which typically drives that thing. If you are talking about a certain standard, and that standard has about a certain price point, and then if it goes beyond that, it becomes unfeasible for a supplier to go and supply that. How does a brand needs to stick to that? And maybe packaging is a different perspective, but when you start looking at commercial printing or marketing printing, where these are very short time requirements, there I think the standards are still not driven from a sustainability perspective.
Yeah. Pankaj, thank you very much for asking a very, very direct question. And I do understand where it comes from. And I'll be also asking, replying very directly. That's when you talk about the sustainability, and as I mentioned about in my presentation, that yes, this is something which is coming as of now at a higher cost. The recycling cost, when we are talking about, let's talk about India. The infrastructure which is available as of now to collect these kind of material. We generate 26,000 tons of the plastic waste every day in India. 26,000 tons of waste. Now, out of that, 10,000 tons is totally uncollected. It simply goes into ocean or landfill, simply. Now, having talked about that, we don't have infrastructure now, as of now, to collect this entire 26,000 tons, number one. Whatever 16,000 tons which is collected, now it goes into the segregation centers, which are, as of now, I know there are many collection centers which have come up, and but they are still unorganized. And even segregating them is a big task as of now, because you have HDP, you have PET, you have paper, you know, the kind of litter which you collect from all across in the organization sector. Now that becomes a big challenge. And finally, is that recycling this material, converting them into the resins and granule, and supplying and mixing them with the virgin material. This entire activities are a chain. The infrastructure is completely lacking as of now. Even if you see in the entire world, if I throw some data over here, only 9% of plastic is recycled. Only 9%. Now, this is because, first thing, the infrastructure, not only India, in India, even it is less than 9%. It is almost around 3-4% as of now, if I could put a figure. Now, infrastructure is not there, number one. Number two, when you convert a virgin plastic material to a recycled plastic material kind of thing, of course, you have to see the consumer safety, you have to do the stability of the product, because if it is coming in directly touch of the recycled material, how it behaves, whether it is stable, etc. So there are scientific reasons, there are ways to find out that whether product is stable with this kind of thing. And some of the products do fail. Let me tell you, everything does not go into the recycled material, especially if it is chemical liquids, etc. You need to conduct stability for that one. Having said that, the final challenge becomes the continuity. This is my personal experience, that even if you start in some of your material about the PC, which is the recycled plastic, the continuity is not there at all. You get it for a few months and you don't get it after a few months, right? Having said that, what I'm saying is that everybody need to contribute into this one. And then we need to, first of all, create an infrastructure where supply is sufficient at a standard quality and continuity is maintained over there. I'm telling you that over a period of time, as of now, it is costlier affair. And I know when it comes to the procurement decisions, the decisions are taken as of now, because of course, it's a very price sensitive market. You have to compete in market as well. But however, there is a section of the people, I think that awareness is coming in, who in long term, the consumers are saying they are very much aware and they want to know whether this packaging is from the green material, whether the manufacturing process have been safe and hygiene kind of thing. And let me tell you, the COVID-19 has told us in a hard way that how the hygiene and safety is to be maintained, right? Now, that is very hard way we have learned. But I think this is the time to reset our habits as well, because in long run, the green packaging is going to survive. That's going to give you the advantage over others. Mind you, there were in the past ISO 9001, which gave you a certificate and where you were preferred by the brand owners, where you could supply. Same way in the process, the consumer will also upgrade themselves, and you will be the preferred supplier or preferred brand owner if your packaging is green, if your product is green, and that day is going to come. I think we should wait for that time, and then not the cost, but the survival of the business becomes the issue, and then the actual change will happen. And I think we are moving into the right direction, where organizations are as of now balancing, and how they are balancing now is that not the entire part of their business, but the some part of their business, they are turning slowly into the green packaging kind of thing. The habit is getting created into the consumer. They are getting aware, and slowly this will expand. And that's what I will say, Pankaj, that yes, as of now, it is when it comes to the cost, it is on higher side. However, this is not the choice. This is in the future, if you have to survive, if you have to grow your business, this is going to be the basic requirement, and then everybody will be forced to change.
Excellent. Lovely way to somehow dodge the question, but I think that's the right way of looking into it. Yes, be positive, but you got to still survive. Excellent. I'll take one more question. In many of the sessions, and I think I'm sure you must have faced it, Reckitt and Benckiser, lot of SKUs and categories have moved from offline to online in the last 6 months, and what we saw and heard that some of the bigger brands found it tough to do this transition from a packaging perspective, because e-commerce packaging, and there was examples coming up today that if someone is essentially buying packaged goods for an experience, e-commerce completely distorts that experience, because there's a package which goes on top of that, and it basically destroys the whole aspect of packaging. And there was also case studies, I think it was yesterday, where a gentleman shared a case study of P&G redesigning a package of, I think, a liquid detergent, which was directly transportable by a courier or by, Amazon kind of stuff. You don't need to do anything. My question is that in your so many years of, role as a strategic procurement, professional with, especially with RB, were you involved in any kind of strategic redesigning project of packaged goods? Where you consulted, you said, okay, I need to get supply chain input onto how my packaged goods should look like in the future. Have you got involved in any kind of a project without getting into specifics? If yes, I'll ask if you can give the background. If no, maybe I'll ask why not.
Okay, so you are not anyway giving me choice to go away from this question, Pankaj. Right? So, anyways, right. Not into this specific to RB, but certainly I think when the e-commerce has come up, ready to self-packaging kind of thing, which have already come in, so that you reduce the packaging. There is a primary packaging, there is a secondary packaging kind of thing. And there have been the ongoing efforts anyways earlier as well, that you have the product packed, which is directly ready to be put on the shelf, right? That is something which has been the effort from consumer companies. And you would have seen many examples without naming that the product which goes to the shelf, I think it's the same packaging in which one it is packaged into the factory. So that is number one, that the action has been happening on that kind of thing. Second thing, when the e-commerce business went, I think it was multiple times during this COVID time kind of thing. Yes, the packaging material, not the material, but the way it is transported, etc. It required, one of the example which I can share is that when you are transferring it through, let's say, not through the usual transportation, but the courier and courier, etc., the weight becomes one of the factor which you consider. And if your cartons are really heavy, not only the cost kind of thing, but it becomes very difficult to take it, to deliver it, the way it is delivered, the last mile delivery which we are talking about, which is happening, it becomes difficult. So one of the project which we got involved was that lightweighting the cartons, and then we did a lot of work in terms of making it from 5-ply to 3-ply kind of thing. Of course, it's not a simple transition. You have to ensure that the strength of the material remains same. It protects the product in the same way it has been doing, or rather in in a better way. So that is one of the project which we got involved, and we did it quite quickly because we worked together with our converters, and converters were also having, let me tell you, that's why I mentioned into my slide, that it's very important to partner together. It will be very difficult to work alone or in isolation or in silos for these kind of thing. You need to work together because you have a capability and your business partners have another capability. You need to come together with the speed and do the thing. So we did many innovation in terms of lightweighting the cartons. Another example is that during this process, we did a lot of lightweighting of the bottles as well. The one of the bottles, which is 35 gram, without naming again, because I don't want to go too specific, the material, it was brought down to 26 gram, one bottle. The 9 gram per bottle reduction came now because we required the cost to come down. We still wanted to serve at the same cost and at the same logistics cost with the same efficiencies kind of thing, and which not only reduced the cost, but I think we achieved a lot into the direction of sustainability because we started using less of plastics over there. So if you see, there are many projects which are on the lightweighting. We also changed the material from one material to another material, where the granules of the plastics were changed, the stability was done, and where we found that yes, this material is it can serve the purpose in terms of getting more shocks, because the entire supply chain was through not the road, but it was through couriers kind of thing, because it was very essential material which we produced during this time, and that's where the lightweighting was also done. So there are some projects, Pankaj, where we did work along with our partners and contributed, and e-commerce partners also were quite appreciative of the efforts.
Okay, so I'm getting a prompt. I have just last one question. You got to be short. You talked about some wonderful things in terms of, RB is a global brand. So I want to know, in terms of any of your specific projects, did you get original innovation coming from an Indian partner, especially in packaging world, in the packaging space? Did you get anything, or did you have to essentially adapt something which was maybe done in the Western world, and you had to find a vendor to go and get that thing done? I'm not talking about that. An original innovation coming in from an Indian partner. Do you have an experience of that?
Okay, now if you are talking about, let me congratulate, because there are many suppliers, many my vendor partners might be in audience. Let me congratulate all of them who have supported us through this time. And not only sustainability, let me take a larger area over here, that there are many innovation, Pankaj, not only one where the Indian suppliers have come in forefront and they have contributed into innovation, be it the type of packaging, be it the format of the packaging, and be it even the lightweighting, which I'm talking about, is from Indian partner. Of course, he's a global player, but he's the Indian partner over here kind of thing. So there is a lot of innovations which have come from Indian partners over here. We have been working especially into the packaging. These are the local partners, while the raw materials, etc., you are sourcing from all over. But the packaging is mainly from local partners because of the cost, logistics cost, which gets involved if you get it from outside, etc. I have my own fantastic experiences of local innovations, and which have gone from local to global in RB world. So I would, without getting into specifics, there are not one, but there are many in my experience where I have witnessed that they are doing wonderfully well.
That's awesome to hear. And maybe, some other session we will try and, present some of those case studies if they are not confidential. Thank you very much, Radha. It was a really, I would have liked to continue because I had a lot of things in mind, but unfortunately we are, eating into the preparation time for the next session. Thank you very much for taking your time out, and hope to see you soon. I do not know when, but maybe, very soon in the coming future. Thank you very much. And, have a good evening ahead.
Looking forward, Pankaj, to meet, and thank you very much again for inviting me on this forum. Thank you very much. Once again.
Thank you. Bye.